Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another edition of Dragon Ball Super Reviews, which I'm going to be bringing you a review of Dragon Ball Super Episode 33, and then giving my predictions for what's going to happen in Dragon Ball Super Episode 34. Well, a lot of stuff happened on Dragon Ball Super Episode 33, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I mean a lot. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this review. So the newest episode, Dragon Ball Super, started off where the last one left off on, and that is the fight starting between Goku and Bamo, the Winnie the Kung Fu looking character from Universe 6 who is going to be the first round opponent of Goku, the legendary Super Saiyan himself. And we started this fight off in a pretty interesting way, with Bamo showing off his ability by bouncing all the way around the arena, you know, at least within that force field, bouncing off the force field itself onto the ground, stuff like that, trying to hit Goku, and just basically showing off, you know, his fat abilities, I guess, I don't know. But basically, after that, like, apparently Goku revealed that the reason why he kind of seemed to be on the defensive at that point in time in the fight was because he had eaten too much beforehand, so he kind of had to work it off. So he did stretches, he was running around the actual ring itself, and Bamo couldn't even hit him or touch him because he was moving so fast. But then Goku decided to actually go on the offensive. He charged up a Kamehameha and he fired it at Bamo, but strangely, it did literally nothing to damage Bamo. So Goku rushed in, running straight towards him, and started hitting him, going to town on him, hitting him over and over and over. But again, it was doing nothing to Bamo. It seemed that Bamo might somehow just be invulnerable because Goku was using all these different attacks on him, and it just did nothing. So it was very strange, but of course Vegeta told Goku to use his head, and after Goku stupidly decided to headbutt him first, which did nothing, he actually decided, wait a second, maybe I should do it using my brain instead of just my head as an attack. So he went underneath Bamo, he grabbed him by the legs, and he actually dragged him and threw him out of the ring. And that was a really interesting first round fight, I guess I have to say, because the fact that, like, you know, that's very unexpected, you know, for Goku to do something like that. Goku doesn't really just go for a ring out. He usually likes to, you know, push himself to his absolute limit and then try and, you know, beat someone through his power. But in this case, he was just like, yeah, this guy isn't gonna budge, so screw it, I'm gonna throw him out of the ring. And obviously it was a clever tactic on his part, but, like, you know, it's just really interesting. And hey, I guess you guys can't say that it was expected for that to happen unless you read the manga, of course. But yeah, so that led up to the next fight that, of course, was also shown in the manga, and that is Frost versus Goku, the Universe 6 version of Frieza for the most part. I mean, Goku kept saying it, so, you know, even though Goku's probably just a racist, you know, I'm just gonna side with Goku on this one. But basically, up next, we had this fight, but before the fight actually started, Frost came over to Goku and actually extended his hand in friendship. A very interesting sight for someone like Frieza to actually do, and cool enough is that Frost actually has the exact same voice actor as Frieza in the Japanese of Ryusei Nakao, and it sounded really cool to actually see him playing, you know, essentially a good guy in this one. But Goku shook his hand and the fight began, and Frost couldn't really do any damage to Goku. Like, it seemed like, you know, he was able to get in a move or two, but inevitably it wasn't really doing anything to Goku, and Goku is clearly the one who is still in control of the fight, even though it didn't really play out as much as it did in, say, the manga. But Frost decided to just say screw it and go to his third form, or at least it looks, you know, identical to Frieza's third form transformation that we saw on Namek. And after that, the fight increased to the level where the two were going back and forth at one another, and Frost actually had the advantage, and he was actually beating Goku in that fight, you know, for the most part. And at this point in time, we actually get a little bit of character backstory about Frost, which is definitely something I wanted to see in, you know, these Universe 6 fighters. I was hoping that they wouldn't just be, oh, they're really strong. I was hoping they'd get some kind of interesting backstory. And we actually saw that Frost, in his own universe, is a hero. He is a benevolent ruler, basically the emperor of his own universe, and he is just the good version of Frieza, a hero who fights evil and protects the innocent. So he's basically the complete opposite of Frieza, and is just actually a really good guy in that universe. And that's really interesting to see, and another change in dynamic and subverting our expectations as to what this Frieza character is going to be. I mean, obviously we see Frieza all this time, then we just see him again in the previous arc, so we expect, oh, he looks like Frieza, he's gotta be evil just like Frieza and King Cold and Cooler, except he's not. he's actually a good guy. And that's definitely something that I hope that they continue to subvert our expectations with the other, continuing fights and the other continuing members of Team Universe 6. But I guess that kind of has to wait to be seen. But of course, there was another awesome spot during this fight in which Goku actually blasted Frost with a Kamehameha, and Frost actually did the exact same spot that Cooler did in Cooler's Revenge, where he actually flies right through the Kamehameha, doing no damage to him whatsoever, and just freaking spears Goku like Bill Goldberg and, Christian or something like that. And it was just an awesome spot, and, so this fight was definitely epic, but then Goku decided to turn it up because obviously he was on the losing end in that situation, and he became a Super Saiyan. And this naturally prompted Frost to also go to his own final form, which looks, again, very similar to Frieza, although you could tell there are some different tweaks. Although, what happened next is something that I was actually pretty surprised about, and that is that Frost actually punched at Goku, and Goku blocked it. And after that, Goku just started beating the crap out of Frost. Like, he was clearly still more powerful, which I was really surprised about, because, again, that throws multipliers right out the window, because the fact that, Frost should have gotten a lot more than 50 times stronger than Goku, from his base, and Goku is only supposed to get about 50 times stronger, so I guess that they threw that multiplier out the window too when it comes to Frieza's actual transformation to his, final power form, unless of course Frost is just a little bit different, but we don't really know, so I guess we have to throw that multiplier out the window now too, which is making this even more confusing, especially since Goku turned to a normal Super Saiyan instead of a Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. But Goku had the clear advantage in this fight. That is until Goku strangely, out of nowhere, just decided to I don't know, I have no idea what happened, and I'm still kind of reacting in a strange way to that, because Goku just all of a sudden he started seeing he couldn't see straight, he started to get woozy, he started to seem really sick out of nowhere, even though he didn't seem to take any real damage from Frost, and suddenly it just seemed like he was completely out of it, almost out on his feet. And so Frost kicked him, and he actually went out of the ring, falling on the outside, and then turning back into his base and losing the match. And out of nowhere, and myself, everyone who was watching this episode, was absolutely shocked, because what the hell just happened? How is it possible that this happened to Goku? Does Frost have some kind of attack where whenever he touches you with his skin, you're poisoned? Or does he infect you with some kind of bacteria, maybe from Universe 6? I mean, that could be an interesting kind of thing, like War of the Worlds, when they actually come out on the Earth and they die because of Earth's bacteria. Maybe the bacteria that Goku has been exposed to from, fighting Botamo and Frost is something that kind of gave him an illness, which automatically made him lose, very akin to, say, the heart virus. Or maybe the heart virus somehow resurfaced, and basically, that medicine that Trunks gave him from the future only delayed the effects of the heart virus. After all, it's been over a decade since he took the heart virus medicine and had the heart, disease in the Android saga, so perhaps it came back in an even worse way, and obviously at the worst time imaginable. But there's so many different questions that happen from this, and no one that I know of expected Goku to lose in such a strange, completely out there fashion, especially when he was winning the fight, and he wasn't seemingly even going all out. But basically, this episode in a nutshell, I would have to say, was pretty great. I mean, not only was it epic with the fight with Goku and Frost, interesting and kind of funny in some ways with, how Goku beat Botamo, but it also left us on one hell of a cliffhanger in which we're actually wondering what the hell happened and how is somebody going to be able to stop Frost in the next fight if he might have some kind of ability that could do this to different characters. But I guess we're going to have to find out, as this goes along. Definitely have to say that I would give this a very high rating, and before I get into my predictions, make sure to go down below and actually tell me your rating for this episode if you've actually seen it. But now I'm actually going to go into my predictions, and speaking of the next fight with Frost, let's look at the next episode preview and see who he's fighting, and that's it. We see Piccolo charging up the Makanko Sapo, or the Special Beam Cannon. And we see this, it's actually really cool. I didn't get a chance to actually, get screen caps of all of it, but the fact of the matter is we get to see Piccolo moving all around with his actual multi-form, and it seems like he's actually charging up a multi-form Makanko Sapo, or he's creating, after-image techniques so that he could actually make it seem like he's actually going to shoot him in multiple different places so he could hit him. But the fact of the matter is, this Makanko Sapo, maybe it's just the animation, but it actually looks kind of different from the one that we've actually seen thus far in the series. So maybe Piccolo, through his training leading up to this tournament, developed an even better one, or maybe he's been working on it for years years now, and you develop a stronger one, it just makes me wonder how Piccolo, even with this special technique, could possibly stand any chance whatsoever against an opponent as strong as Frost, who is actually stronger than base God Goku's power. It's definitely going to be really interesting to see if maybe Piccolo is actually going to beat someone for once and not get beat himself, you know, unless, of course, Frost whips out some chopsticks, but shout out to QAAMAN there. But anyway, this has been another review of Dragon Ball Super and my predictions for what's going to happen in the next coming episode. Hopefully in the next coming episode we're going to find out more about that heart virus, but if he has a heart virus or whatever he actually happens to have. But what do you think is wrong with Goku? Let me know down below. Also, what do you actually think is going to happen in the next coming episode? And did you like this episode? Did you dislike it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I mean, just let me know down below in the comments section. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
And you better subscribe!